Hello. Today we're going to take a deeper dive into just Tyrion. We've covered the general changes to the High Elves with Eltharion. Today we're going to specifically look at our boy Tyrion. With every victory, Tyrion leads the Ezra towards the second scan. The enemies of the High Elves will be purged. I'm not sure where this comes into play. I haven't actually played, so that's interesting. We're going to begin with the stuff we can take a look at here. I'm going to take a look into Lothern to see this unique change to the Straits of Lothern building. All of this is the same as the other High Elves with the new build units that you can get. That's just a change in the image for those guys. But you've got your Sky Cutters here, you've got your Lion Chariots here. What is different about Tyrion now is pretty much any unit that he could recruit here can be recruited from the Straits of Lothern as what's called an Exalted version. So these have some slightly different stats. They do cost quite a bit more. But what they'll allow you to do is, instead of, let's say, building this here, okay, you could go ahead and just build this line, and then you could get your Lothern Sea Guard from here. Exalted Lothern Sea Guard. Now those are going to be unit capped. You can see here capacity for Lothern Sea Guard. They're capped also. Remember, SFO does unit cap quite a few buildings. So Tyrion now can recruit the Exalted version from here, and they do come up in his stat line. Let's go and take a look at the man himself.
Shield against the darkness.
So for anybody who's played, you already know, the rest of you may not, that Tyrion has a bifurcated skill line. You either choose the Majesty of Ulthuan or you choose the Bloodline of Aenarion. This boosts the entire faction, and this set over here boosts Tyrion himself. So what are the differences to the way that the game is in vanilla? Let's take a look here. Let me bring up my numbers. Okay, so we've got the Majesty of Ulthuan that's available at turn 12 with the leadership aura, the leadership effect, and hold the line. That's all the same, but now he has upkeep for Exalted units. Exalted units about 50% more expensive than regular units, so that does help you to pay for those. Then Unifier, diplomatic relations with the High Elves is the same, but now he's got +2 control instead of +1, and plus 25% income in the local province. Now, local province income boost, not necessarily the best. You're not going to spend a lot of your time sitting in Etain with the richest province, so not the greatest, but that 2 control is going to be very helpful. You've got -10% for all units, recruitment costs global wide, -1 global recruitment, 2 global capacity. That's the same as vanilla. And then you've got your righteous cause, upkeep for armies faction wide, used to be 10% and 10% corruption. So this not as good in terms of upkeep, this one better in terms of control. So this is the line that people don't usually take. I don't think I see too many people taking the Bloodline of Aenarion. It just boosts Tyrion himself. So you're going to get -1 control in all provinces from this one, as opposed to adding control, which is in the other set. And then these are all going to be -1 control in the local province. So what are the actual numbers? Let me get this moved over. So here we've got melee attack, weapon strength, and missile and weapon damage. So the missile and weapon damage for Exalted units, that's new. The others are the same. You've got Wrath of Cain. Okay, so that's going to add leadership, weapon strength, and bonus versus large. The bonus versus large and the leadership are flipped. In vanilla it was 20 and 10. Here it's 10 and 20. In the aspect of the Banshee, you've got that charge bonus. It's 25 now, it used to be 15, and you've got Cause as Fear. The good one here is this leadership -10 for lords and embedded heroes of enemy armies. This allows him to rout enemy leaders off the battlefield much easier. Then you've got Godly Perseverance, 25% hit points, 50 armor piercing damage is the big add here. The physical resistance is the same. The only one of these dedications I'm going to look at is the one they normally use as Tyrion, is the dedication to Isha, which is going to boost replenishment rate in the army. That's outstanding. 5% for spear, rangers, and archers. That used to be 5% also. And then 5% physical resistance for Tyrion used to be 3, so that's quite nice. You do not get the same savings for your spearmen, archers, and rangers as you did in vanilla. We'll look at his main faction effects in a little while. You've got these 3 added here. They're all very good. Line of sight, melee defense, and melee attack for some units, doubled when you go to the 2nd level. So again, this is making use of all those skill points that you know, by the time you get to a certain point, you're like, just whatever, put it here. Grunter's Descendants, some movement range and some charge bonus, and again, those increase. Strider for Tyrion. Finally, you've got character experience, casualty replenishment rate, and weapon strength, and again, increased 20% bonus casualty replenishment rate and weapon strength and experience gain. It's really going to push Tyrion to become stronger faster. Okay, so we've taken a look at the benefits in Lothern, taken a look at Tyrion. Let's take a look at his stat lines and faction differences between vanilla and regular. Okay, so we can see here, this one on this side, this is going to be vanilla, and this is going to be SFO. Start off with a big one. Diplomatic relations plus 10 with High Elves. That allows you to get confederations pretty easily as Tyrion. You're usually pretty dominant strength-wise. Here it's been changed to -25 with all factions except High Elves. So you're not going to be able to confederate as easily, and everybody who's not High Elves is going to be worried that you're coming for them. I guess that's going to be some leaning into the lore friendly, because Tyrion is basically going to say, you know, Ulth won over everybody else. If we take a look here, construction time for Shrine of Cain building, that remains the same. That's that one building that's in Angriel, or on the Shrine of Cain, and we might take a look at that, but I couldn't tell you what the difference would be. Then he's got this local recruitment that allows him to get 2 turn units in 1 turn for infantry and cavalry, so that really helps with the upper tier stuff. That hasn't changed. So what has changed, you've got this Path of Retribution or Unity. Those are the 2 lines we looked at, and then High faction grant unique confederation bonuses. I'm going to have to play to see how that works out. We'll bring you one of those later on when I finally get around to doing a Tyrion. And then the unique Exalted units. Most of the units recruited at Lothern, which allow you to build Lothern differently. You can focus entirely on faction-wide and local effects rather than unit building. Some major nerfs here. 50% off for Spearman, Silvering Guard, etc. Now it's only 20%. You can get some of that back using his skill line, but certainly not all of it. But you do get a boost to your Lothern Sea Guard here. So I think in a way they're turning Tyrion into a bit of Eltharion. Lothern Sea Guard and then those Gate Guard, those are spear and shield infantry, which are the métier of Eltharion. So that's an emphasis on that type of unit. You can see here, I think those are the same unit, they just have a different card, so I couldn't tell you if that's a different unit. Finally, leadership in their own territory. I guess that helps if you're getting invaded and you really need some assistance. Maybe the 10% leadership will help, but I think High Elf leadership is pretty good to begin with. So overall what we have here is a look pretty much just at Tyrion. He gets the same wizard he had before. She's not particularly skilled. She doesn't get an extra clever ability here like the one that Eltharion gets. And then Lothern, let's emphasize, you've got these Exalted versions